I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadows of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen.
What inspired me to create and develop the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame was that I came from a long legacy of music in my life. My parents, my mother, before she met my father, she was a singer and sang in the choir, came up in the West End, was a singer there. And my father, he had worked for Motown. He was the advanced person in Cincinnati for Motown, and he started an organization called Operation Step Up, and it was the first talent show in Cincinnati at that time. And so she tried out for the talent show. He had Red Fox there. Her band did not show up. And he was not going to let her go on, but Red Fox said, let her go on. And so my mother went on and she blew the house down, is what I was told, and her nickname was Baby Aretha. She loved Aretha Franklin, and everybody thought that she had a similar sound.
Alicia was right there. She saw it, so she got to see people, be around entertainers, meet people, and I had no idea that music was going to kind of be there with her and stick with her until she got to Grambling State University. And when she got to Grambling State University, she got involved in a lot of promotion and she became Miss Grambling State. People don't realize that she traveled all over the country for the college and with Eddie Robinson. And they had one of the greatest bands, college bands you could think of. And Alicia was involved in promoting and putting things on. And then she came back and got involved with radio with Lincoln Ware and then got involved in politics. This is his story. Never in the history of Hamilton County government have we built anything of this magnitude on a permanent basis in this county.
You would not believe it. I mean, I think all of us to a certain degree know what it means to be vested in a vision, committed to a cause, a hard worker, if you will. But this woman, when I said this woman, I'm talking about the woman who went down on crutches at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, waiting on the arrival or a delivery of concrete or of bricks, and just to make sure they're the right color or to make sure the deadlines are being met.
What has happened? They're pouring today. I wanted to be here for the first pour on the top layer. They said, we're gonna start at 4 o'clock. And I was down here around 4 o'clock to see it happen. So good morning.
I am committed, I am vested, and I think I'm a hard worker. 3 o'clock in the morning in a hard hat waiting for the arrival of rocks. Never would you find that in my job description.
When Miss Reese started talking about this, and I'm actually just talking and it started happening, it's like, oh, okay. Well, this is something I definitely want to dedicate my time to because, it's bigger than all of us. It's bigger than all of us. And for somebody to put some time into it like that, you got to be real. And, it was right on time. Right on time. That's a big sacrifice to step out by yourself and try to bring people together.
Alicia is the biggest star Cincinnati's ever seen. I've never met anybody with her amount of dedication and determination, tenacity, intelligence, and just good old soul, right? I met her a year ago, and today I can say she is my sister. And if I am a star picker, I'm picking her.
Well, there's always a challenge when you're doing something that's never been done. One of the things I think that helped me is that my father made me read the autobiography of Walt Disney when I was a teenager. And so I was always fascinated how he was able to take what everybody else saw was a swamp and say, we're gonna have Disney World. And I had nothing but rocks. This was nothing but an empty lot filled with rocks and an eyesore. And I didn't see it as that. I saw it as, this can be the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. Everyone, and I'm talking about diverse people on this project, women, men, black, white, coming together saying, hey, we did this, the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame, we did this. And that's what I'm saying. Everybody feels like we've been a part of this. And that means a lot to me.
Cincinnati, welcome to the historic grand opening of the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame! You've seen them on national TV, breaking down celebrity news. You've seen them on Soul of a Nation, talking about the history, the origin, and importance of black music. You've also seen him on the new hit talk show, The Sherry Show, in which he serves as executive producer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your celebrity co-host for tonight's induction ceremony, Mr. John Murray.
Cincinnati, how y'all feeling? Oh no, y'all look too good in your white to be that quiet. I said, Cincinnati, how y'all feeling? I don't know if we're at a Frankie Beverly and Mays concert or if this is church convocation, but you look mighty nice. It's good to see all this white in the room. Everybody feeling good? All right, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the day. We are here for the historic grand opening of the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. I'm your host, John Murray. I'm good to, I was here last year. How many of y'all were here last year? We had a good time last year, didn't we? We're gonna do it all over again. It's so great to be back because the dream is real, y'all. Last year we had, replicas and we had photos and some montages, but today the real thing is here. Isn't it amazing what can happen in a year? Seems like yesterday. Last year we saw an interactive tour video on the big screen. This year we're all going to be walking through the new Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. And it is now my pleasure to introduce my friend, the visionary and founder, the developer of the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. She's somebody who knows everybody, and she got an answer for every problem. She's the Hamilton County Commissioner, the president, Alicia Reese. Come on, y'all. Get up on your feet and love on her real good. You're looking mighty nice. You're looking mighty nice.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know. But we don't let nothing hold us back. We're putting ourselves together, we're polishing up our act. If you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Don't you let nothing stand in your way. I want y'all to listen to every word I say, every word I say. Ain't no stopping us now. We're running up. Ain't no stopping us now. We got to do.
All right, how y'all doing? I love you too. Woo! Ain't no stopping us now. We done had a lot of bad news in our lives, but today we got something positive. Today we have something positive. We're gonna dance. I want y'all to dance. I want y'all to celebrate the good news. I am just so overwhelmed, thankful, and honored to be here with you today. And I appreciate all of the support, the prayers, the accolades that you all have given me. But all the honor and the praise goes to God. There's nowhere in the world this could have been pulled off without God. And when He gives you an assignment, you got to take the assignment, even though you might be saying, okay, God, are you sure now? But today is, I'm a witness, you all are witnesses of what He can do. He can part the Red Sea. And He has done that today. But today is not about me. God used me. He used me. And I want to thank Him for using me. But I'm excited to say that we did it, everybody. We did it. Y'all did it. We did it together. We made history together. And it took a lot for us to get to this point. Believe it or not, to get this Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame, international, state-of-the-art, never been done anywhere before, right here in our county and in our city. It took a lot of people, a lot of moving parts. But the first thing I want to do, of course, I thank God. And the next thing I do is I thank my family. Because they don't care if I am successful or unsuccessful, I'm still family. I want to first acknowledge my mother, the late Barbara Howard Reese. My mother would never imagine that her daughter would be able to do this. She was born in the West End, the projects West End. And she could sing, and she was blessed with a voice. They called her Baby Retha. And then she met my father. He was going to be the next Berry Gordy. He was working for Motown. And he had his own independent label, which was so tough back then. And Cincinnati has a lot of people that had independent labels. And on his own independent label, he recorded my mother's self-titled Barbara Howard On the Rise. And I thank God they met each other and got married because I wouldn't be here. And they went on, and the record business was really tough to have a family and be in the record business. So they ended up going in advertising. But they took me everywhere with them as a little girl. And I was there. I didn't know what I was looking at, but I was there. And so I would hear the stories, Bootsy, and back then the OJs, and Midnight Star. I didn't know what I was listening to. I thought everybody had that story, but they didn't. And so my mother passed at 57 years young after fighting breast cancer for 12 years. I made a commitment to myself that I'm moving from titles to position. And I asked God to use me. And so he used me to be able to have these stories live on. I didn't want them to die when we die. They must live on for the next generation. And so that's what the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame is about. These stories will live forever. People will be able to come here, be educated, and be inspired. Grandma and the grandkids will be able to dance together and laugh together. And so I like to recognize my mother's not here with me, but I thank God that my father is still here with me. Dr. Stephen Reese Sr. Can we get a spotlight over here? We got lighting people. Let's get it. Thank you, Dr. Reese. I want to acknowledge my sister, Tiffany Reese Stewart is here. She's working and helping. My brother, Coach Steve Reese, is in the house. My sister-in-law, Karen. My niece, Brianna, is in the house. She's up here tweeting. Say something nice about me. Say something nice about Auntie. My nephew is here, Jalen Reese. Y'all remember that name, one of the top point guards in the country. Was on ESPN and beat LeBron James's team, so he's on a good start. My cousins, Mr. and Mrs. Angelo Howard, is here. They grew up with us. And my family, Mr. and Mrs. Orrin Gilbert, is in the house. They've come in from all over the country. I don't know where they are. They're somewhere around here. And then my nephew, y'all remember him, famous artist to be, Mr. Deontay. We call him Tay-Tay. Came in from Cleveland State Institute of Art. So I have so many people. My sister from Central State, Omarosa, Miss Central State, is in the house. I was Miss Grambling State, she was Miss Central State. And then my good friend, the first African-American commissioner, first African-American female commissioner of Alabama, Sheila Smoot, is in the house. So I want to thank everybody that came and flew in. At this time, I want to acknowledge our administration, but this could not have been done without the county commissioners. They came together. I want to thank them, because I know at first they thought I was crazy, and I appreciate them going on with me. In the house is Commissioner Stephanie Summerall Dumas. And I want to also thank Commissioner Denise Driehaus. I want to thank the administration. Jeff Aludo, who's our administrator, and Phil Beck, who is the project manager, and all of those at the county. Please stand. Hamilton County is on the move. I want to thank the design team, because when they asked me, what do you want it to be? I said, bring me Disney World, but on a budget. And I want to thank them for not thinking I'm crazy. Will the design team stand up and be recognized? This is world-renowned, award-winning designs. get that lighting going back there. We got to see the folks, y'all. Let's get the lighting together. Next, I want to have the construction team. I want to tell you, we put this together in a year and a half. This is unheard of. Will the construction team stand up? We made it on time. On time. Everybody kept asking, will they make it on time? They said Messer has not missed a deadline yet. And I want to say that you guys are still undefeated. So thank you very much. They called me the honorary foreman because I was down there so much. I'm going to miss y'all, and I know y'all going to miss me. So I want to thank all of the, did I miss anybody? Construction consultants that worked on the project, stand up. All consultants, legal, and all of that. Our technology team, everybody, our technology team is in the house. Because of them, you will be able to dance and perform with Bootsy Collins. Bootsy, we're gonna perform with you, Bootsy. The mothership lands. It comes all the way from Paycor right down here, virtually with Bootsy Collins, and then it comes all the way, Penny comes from Germany, all the way over Paycor. And you can dance with them because of our technology team and our augmented reality. Also, I would like to thank, most importantly, all of you. So you all stand up and take a clap for yourself. The taxpayers of Hamilton County, thank you. You all did a fabulous job. But we could not do this without partnerships. We couldn't do this without partnerships. I want to thank the artists for believing in me when I called them. They didn't say, "You're crazy, I can't come back." No, they said, "We're in, we're here, we're ready to go." And I want to thank y'all. I want to also say all of our inductees who are sitting up here today, which are going to be introduced, but I'm going to introduce them. Bootsy Collins, ladies and gentlemen, founding inductee. Otis Williams of Otis Williams and the Charms. We got a whole beat machine. They talk about 50 years of hip hop. You get a concert and it's over. We gonna keep the 50 years going with a whole beat maker area narrated by High Tech. We're excited to have Midnight Stars. So we'll be dancing out there with y'all. Midnight Stars in the house. And I'm going to introduce the other ones because you'll be hearing from them pretty soon. But let me say, I mentioned her earlier. This sister, we on the phone all the time, and it's a different time zone. And we back and forth on these phones. Ladies and gentlemen, Penny Ford. Your song inspired me. I got the power. Keep it going. So with that, what you're gonna see when you leave here, when we get done at the end, you'll get to go through the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. It will not pack up and leave when this weekend is over. It will be here permanently on the Ohio banks. And out of 198 acres, with the NFL stadium on one side, a Major League Baseball stadium on the other side, we took the half an acre and made a world-renowned Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. And people of all races, I don't care how old you are, how young you are, what you look like, you can come here for free. So many people talk about equity and inclusion. This is equity and empowerment for the community. This is yours. This is for the culture. This is for our community. This is for our county. This is for the state. This is for the world. And make no mistake about it, it's a tourism attraction, bringing in dollars and people and giving us great publicity. So I hope that you'll be proud of this work. I hope that you'll feel like this is you. This is a part of you. So take care of it. Bring people back to visit it. And tell the whole world about it. Last but not least, in the Walk of Fame, in addition to our stars this year, we have a section called Black Music Influencers. We go from jazz to R&B to opera, hip hop, we got it all. And today we have over 60 influencers that are here. The oldest being Frank Payne Jr., 101 years old, playing for Duke Ellington and never got his due. You get your due today. This is our present to you. So today we give back for the next generation to come. We will bury a time capsule today in the project. There will be a story of inspiration and advice for the next generation. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the induction today, and I hope that you enjoy the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. It's yours. We did it together. We made history together. At this time, I'd like to bring up two people that was very instrumental. Damon Jones from Procter & Gamble. When I didn't have anything but rocks, didn't have no money, only had a flyer that I held up, brought him down here and said, Damon, can't you see it? He looking, look around. He said, you know, you're my sister, but what we looking for? I said, the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. And he didn't say, wait till you get it built. Wait till you have some drawings. He said, I'm going to step in and be the first corporate sponsor, Procter & Gamble. Now, when you go to Hollywood, it's $55,000 to get a star. You go to Nashville, they charge you $150 just to nominate somebody. But I wanted it to be free. And I wanted it to be authentic. And we got something way better than Hollywood. We not just put some stars in the ground. We got a whole interactive amusement style park with technology. So Damon Jones, he came in, he said, I'm going to sponsor these stars, but I'm going to be a partner with you. And he put somebody on loan, and he helped us. And he helped us to have stuff like this that's free, and he brought in Kroger's and so many other people. So at this time, I'd like to bring up both Damon Jones of Procter & Gamble and Lincoln Ware, who's on the selection committee. He's the chair. So if you got somebody that need to be in there, don't call me, call Lincoln Ware. I'd like to bring both of them up to talk about our partnership, because it took partnership to do it. Partnership with the airport. Never been done before. We have a display in our international airport. So come up here, Mr. Damon Jones and Lincoln Ware.
How y'all doing, Cincinnati? I said, how y'all doing, Cincinnati? All right, it is a blessing to be here, and I stand here with this group here with immense joy, pride, and just gratitude for not only what Commissioner Reese says is our newest tourism attraction. This is a tribute to those who provide the soundtrack to so many moments in our lives. And you just start thinking about the songs of the people that you will see on stage today, and think about a moment in your life. And when you think about that song, you get some emotion that comes back in that song. So that's a wonderful thing about this. I want to just take a minute. Maybe I'll start with just acknowledging the leadership of so many of the elected officials. I saw some of our city councilors, our mayor, the commissioners. Thank you for your leadership. But I want to talk for a minute just about Commissioner Reese. I've known Commissioner Reese for a long time. And whether you like it or not, her ears aren't attuned to the word no. Her mouth cannot form the lips in the right way to say the word no. But because her ears operate in that way, and because her mouth operates that way, we are gathered here today in this place celebrating what we are celebrating. So for your vision, for not saying no, I thank you. I also want to thank the many different sponsors. Yes, we have the privilege at Procter & Gamble being the lead sponsor here, but there are so many people that come together when we want to make magic happen in Cincinnati. And they step up too, and they say yes. So to our friends at Kroger, to Fifth Third, First National Bank, Hard Rock Casino, all in Cincinnati, the Greater Cincinnati Foundation, the Cincinnati Music Festival, the Cochran Firm, Broadway Cincinnati, and the Courtyard Marriott. Each of you said yes, and we thank you. And you often wonder why we take up and say, well, we gotta get a sponsor some time. These people put their time, their talent, and their treasure for what they believe in a vision, and it would not be possible, so thank you for that. I also want to thank you for the support of the public sector, the Cincinnati Airport, the Cincinnati Public Library, Waterworks, Metro, and just so many people, the Cincinnati Police Department. Each in your own way, you step forward and you make this possible. But I want to close my remarks not just by saying thank you, but by inviting you, yes, to enjoy the tourism attraction, but to enjoy the moment of unity that music presents. In all the things that we can disagree on, we can agree on good music. We can agree on good times. And when younger generations come down here, they can see, well, somebody was from Cincinnati and they did this, so I can do that. So this is a symbol and an invitation for future generations of greatness. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Damon. As Alicia Reese mentioned earlier, I'm on the selection committee, I'm the chair, and believe me, everybody wants to get on the Walk of Fame in the same year. We've got enough room out there to last us 50 more years. So we can't put everybody on in 1 year. So, but we appreciate all the people going on the website. They're making their nominations, their recommendations. And like I said, this area is enriched with talent. I mean, you talk about Bootsy, Midnight Star, and some of the other groups out there. This area, we got Ohio Players, we've got Sun, we've got Lakeside, we've got a whole Southwest area. Not just Cincinnati, remember, it's the Southwest Ohio area. So believe me, we got a lot of folks up in Dayton that are anxious, a lot of people from around that area, and they will get in eventually. Like I said, we've got a lot of room. P&G, hopefully they'll stay with us the rest of the way so we can put those stars in the ground. I would like to acknowledge our committee. I think their names will go up on the screen there. Our committee members, I can't think of them all now. We got Don Juan for show, we got Ebony J, and some of the other people. It's behind me, okay, there it is. I'm looking up at the screen there. All the people, Ken Butts, Joe Mallory, Alicia Reese, Quentin Monroe, you got Don Juan, I mentioned him, Joe Santangelo, Christy Coons, Kent Butts, Ebony J, just a host of people who help me on a daily basis. But you can have all the troops in the world fighting the battle for you, but you got to have a leader. And Alicia Reese has been that leader for us. You know, you got George Patton, World War II. George Patton, without him, I don't know what those troops would have done. He led the troops into battle and they won the war. So Alicia Reese, she's our Patton. She goes into battle and she tells us which direction to take, and we take it, and she should get all the credit for what has happened here today, as well as everyone else, but she was our leader throughout this whole affair. Thank you very much, and let's continue with the show.
Come on, give it up for Lincoln Ware and Damon Jones. You know, Alicia Reese said something that is very important. Music is a tourism driver. You know, people from all over the world, not just in the United States, fly to Detroit to go visit Motown. They want to see the original place where Hitsville was made. I was hosting something recently in Memphis, and they told me, particularly the Asian community, come in droves to Memphis, not only to take in the blues, but they go to stop by Al Green's church on their way to the airport. They say he was smart to put a church by the airport. They say the charter buses pull up. They say he preached. Some of them don't even understand what he's saying. But he know how to get that offering out of them, though. Al had a good time last night. Shout out to Midnight Star, too, because y'all did y'all thing last night. It was a good time. But now Cincinnati has an additional tourism attraction in the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. Because people will travel from all over the world to come see this music cemented. So give yourself a hand, because tourism is good for the economy. Another quick thing, I was wondering why all of a sudden they slipped this white thing on us this year, because I'm usually in all black like the Omen. I was like, white? But when Alicia started shouting her family members out, I said, this is low-key your family reunion. I said, I was 45, 46, how many cousins do you have here today? And since I've gone off the script, I want to take a personal moment of privilege. There's so much work that goes into what you see. Like, I remember I was here hosting something for Jason Dunn several years ago, and when I come to town, Alicia says, I got something I want to show you. And I got in the car with you, and you took me to find some art that a local artist, G. Horton, that I'm a fan of, had done here in the city. And you were telling me about this. And at the time, it sounded like a big undertaking. I thought maybe 10, 12, 15 years from now. I ain't know, like 2 or 3 years later, we'd be sitting here walking into the place. And that takes a lot of work, my friend. This is a permanent concrete structure, and it's for all of us. As you like to say, for us, by us. How many of y'all used to rock that FUBU? For us, by us. So I know you had a lot of challenges. I know you had a lot of hurdles. Listen, you're in politics. I know there was political red tape that you had to maneuver through, but you're graced for that, and that's why we love you. And so I want to ask Miss Penny Ford to join me real quick, because, we want to do something that's a little off the cuff for you right now.
Hello, everyone. Evanston represent. It's always great to be back home. As Commissioner President Reese mentioned earlier, I live in Germany. So I am 6 hours ahead of you. And there are very few people that I extend to tell me to call, that they can call me anytime, day or night. Very few. Some people take advantage of that, but Alicia Reese can call me anytime, day or night, about anything. Over the past year, we've talked many nights, many mornings about this project. And we, on behalf of the inductees and myself, we want to thank you for being a superhero in this city. There are not very many things in this city called black. And thank you for making this for us and a place that we could celebrate us. And that I could come home and be proud of what my fellow people here in Cincinnati have done and are doing to repair our city, to build our city, to build each other. So, like I said, on behalf of the inductees, we want to give you your star. Thank you, President.
Come on and join us, Alicia. One more time for Alicia Reese, y'all.
Okay, somebody's in trouble because somebody's in trouble for this. I didn't know about this. I want to thank y'all. My chief of staff, Vader Stevens, I want to give him a big shout out. Although he's in big trouble after this. He kept a secret from me. But I want to thank him for all his work. And I just want to also, I didn't get to say, the production team. The team that put this whole event together. Please stand and wave your hand. I know you're working somewhere. Give it up for the production team. I mean, it's a lot of moving parts. Thank y'all so much. And Vader Stevens, my chief of staff. You've done an excellent job. 23 years young. Youngest chief of staff in the history of Hamilton County. But you're in trouble for this one.
And we're not quite done yet. We decided that, you know, in addition to loving on you here, they got a video clip. Take a look. They got a video clip. Take a look.
That's John Glenn.
What do you ladies do for NASA?
Calculate launch and landing, sir. Engineering. And I'm proud as the devil to be working with you. How could you possibly be ugly these white men? It's equal rights. I have the right to see fine in every color.
There's no protocol for women attending.
There's no protocol for a man circling the earth either, sir.
Don't you know that we're able?
Okay, let me give you the context. Because it's not necessarily about you, even though, because you know, you're not a hidden figure anymore, but there are so many hidden figures here in Hamilton County that will no longer be hidden figures after folks get to experience this Black Music Walk of Fame. Do you remember when you watched this movie, it seemed like all of Black America lit up and they were so proud of the brilliant women and their accomplishments with NASA and putting the first man on the moon? Well, at this historic grand opening of the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame, today you are about to meet as well as learn about numerous hidden figures in Black music who are from Southwest Ohio and the global impact that they made. The musical genius who is known for creating the doo-wop sound is Otis Williams, and he's here from Cincinnati. The first Black woman to sing at the White House in 1878, Marie Salika Williams, and she's from Cincinnati. The famous jazz singer who voiced the mega hit song Street Life is the legend Randy Crawford from Cincinnati. The world-renowned opera singer Kathleen Battle is from Southwest Ohio. Did y'all know that? And the remarkable stories go on and on of the hidden figures in Black music. These musical artists and their unique artistry and their sounds have paved the way for so many generations that have followed. And even the Italians have a song that is currently featured in the soundtrack for the Michelin commercial celebrating the NBA champions, the Denver Nuggets. The Italians are from Cincinnati. I hope they're getting a check from that Michelin commercial though, because that commercial money is pretty nice. These artists and more that you are going to learn about today at the historic grand opening of the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame are still relevant to this day. Their music has served as the soundtrack to our lives and our culture. And thanks to the vision of President Reese, we now have a permanent place where families can come for free 365 days a year to learn and celebrate the stories of these Black artists and the musicians who have made this impact. Today's more than just an event. Today we are all a part of history in the making. And so without further ado, let's get you started on this journey to induct the 2023 class into the Black Music Walk of Fame. As part of today's induction ceremony, we want to first start by acknowledging the founding inductees of the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame, who include Bootsy Collins, Otis Williams, Dr. Charles Fold, and the Isley Brothers. We also want to acknowledge the 2022 inductees, and you know, I have a special place for them because I hosted last year, so I inducted y'all. Miss Penny Ford, Midnight Star, Wilbert Longmire, and my buddy High Tech. So we want to begin honoring our newest members in the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame who will receive a star today. And our first inductee is a civil rights songwriter and composer, Louise Shropshire.
If my Jesus wills, I do
I remember when I was younger and I would tell people, well, my grandmother wrote We Shall Overcome.
But look at us.
I didn't really consider how that sounded outside of me.
She would tell me stories. When I was a little girl, I would go next door because she practically helped raise me. My mom and dad, they worked a lot. So I was there and she told me I wrote the song, We Shall Overcome, which it didn't really mean that much to me. She told me when I was 5 or 6.
She taught us to hear music in a different light, in a different way, to hear the actual sound of music, you know, not just playing it just for the words.
The song that became We Shall Overcome was conceived out of pain. My grandmother's heart was broken. She said it was to the point of depression. But rather than hand herself over to depression or a broken heart, she channeled that pain into music. It became a spiritual force that transcended her, the walls of the 4 walls of the church, and it ended up going out into the world and having the same effect on the people who sang it than it did when she composed it.
I love the way her song has impacted the world. It's sung all over, you know, and just to know somebody so tremendous, it's just a feeling I can't describe.
Being honored in the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame is really, I can't even put it into words for the simple fact that, man, it is mind-blowing. It's so humbling. Very, very humbling because my grandmother, I don't even know if she would have known how to take that in, you know?
I think her heart would just be full and filled and overjoyed to be inducted into the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame.
It is our family's wish that whoever comes to touch that stone, it becomes infectious to them. And the reason why I say that is my grandmother was everything love, and other people's destinies are tied in. And I really, truly believe that.
And our 2023 Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame top music influencer, Miss Shirley Murdoch.
You know, faith is stepping out on nothing and landing on something. When you think about writing a song about overcoming after the battle has been fought and the victory is won. But it's another thing to sing a song about overcoming when you're still in the midst of the struggle. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, well, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. Do y'all believe that? We are not alone. No. We are not alone. I said we are not alone. No, not today. Not today. Oh, deep down I do believe that we are not alone. No, not today. Not today. And guess what, y'all? We'll walk hand in hand. Yes, we will. Grab somebody by the hand. We'll walk hand in hand. I said we will walk hand in hand. Someday. I said we will walk hand in hand. Yes, I said we will walk hand in hand. Yes, we'll walk hand in hand someday. And I got good news for you. You see, God's gonna see us through. Come on, y'all. I said, God is gonna see, He's gonna see us through. Yes, He will. God is gonna see us through. Yes, He will. Someday. Deep down in my sanctified soul, I said, I do believe that we shall overcome someday.
To announce our 2023 inductee, Louise Shropshire, and here to accept the award is her grandchildren, Michelle and Robert. Please come and accept this award into the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame.
Oh, what a grand gesture of love for us this evening. My grandmother, I wish she could have lived to see this. How many of you know that the system that oppressed those people when you saw them with the water hose and the dogs and everything, that same system declared that We Shall Overcome was the most powerful song in the 20th century, and that the short, simple lyrics of We Shall Overcome might be some of the most influential words in the English language. How many of you know that those words are the words of Louise Shropshire, and they were conceived right here in Cincinnati, Ohio? Allow me to tell you a little bit in depth about my grandmother and how powerful she was. There are two main attributes of her character that cannot go unnoticed. And the first one was, she was a little lady with a very big voice, and she commanded every room she walked into. The second was, she had a very real relationship with Jesus Christ. Allow me to put the focus on the lyrics to We Shall Overcome. A couple of lyrics in particular. I do believe. Now, there are many, from If My Jesus Wills to We Shall Overcome, they made changes, right? But when we're talking about I do believe, that's an identifier of Louise Shropshire because it never left its place of origin. So when you say I, who's the I we're talking about? We're talking about Louise Shropshire because she was the one who said, I do believe. It is in the roots of the song that we gain the understanding of the purpose of the song. It is in the origins that we gain the wisdom and direction on how to overcome any and all adversity just as she did. In 1993, I sat at my grandmother's bedside at her deathbed. She was getting ready to leave this life. And she spoke her last words of life to me. It was just me and her in the bedroom. I had just gotten baptized, and I decided to see things her way because up until that point, I was kind of wild, and you know, and she would always tell me, Robert Anthony, you don't have to keep living like that. So at the end by the end of her life, I got the message. And so I sat there at her bedside, and I took my baptismal certificate and showed it to her. She looked at it and she said, I love you and I'm proud of you. And then she turned her attention to her music. She said, I have a lot of songs, and one day somebody's going to do something with all of my music. And I promised her that night that I would do that for her. And that began my journey to getting her recognized, and that got her to this point. So Commissioner Reese, I want to thank you. Your Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame has just now become sacred ground. Cincinnati, thank you for being a beacon of light that inspired my grandmother to form those words in this city. Thank you.
Come on, put your hands together for the Shropshire family and the legacy of Louise Shropshire. And can we give another round of applause to the iconic Shirley Murdoch? You know, whenever she hits the stage, I start singing, so we counted up the cost. But instead, we got lost in the second, in the minute. As we like, you know, a saved person wrote that lyric. That's redemption. I got convicted after I did what I did. That lust fell off of me. My spirit I shouldn't be having to take this walk of shame. So I counted up the cost. My God, Alicia Reese, I got the preach on me that you had on you earlier. Some Baptist preacher's gonna preach that tomorrow because you're gonna be a little hungover from the festival. So you need a quick word. You're gonna go straight from that to they hung him high, they stretched him wide. All right, I'm clowning a little bit now. Let me get back on the program. Somebody put me on the program. Our next inductee is Philippé Wynne. Let's take a look at this package.
An outstanding soul artist, Philippé Wynne was a powerhouse performer whose magical voice moved many, earning him the nickname Soul Wynne. Starting his career as a gospel singer, Wynne eventually emerged as an R&B star, joining the Spinners as a lead vocalist and becoming the voice behind some of their biggest hits. From touring the world with the Spinners, including an impromptu backstage sparring session with Muhammad Ali, to stellar collaborations as a solo artist, Philippé Wynne's story is one of grit and glory. And it began here in Cincinnati, growing up in an orphanage where he and his 3 siblings chose to be guided by hope, faith, and their gift of music.
Our family sang, but we sang all the time. We sang in the home. There was music. There was always music, music, music.
It's a shame the way you mess around with your man. It's a shame the way you hurt me.
Some of the memories that I have of my uncle, as he started his career and got really big, he would still come back and see his family. And my mom, of course, was his sister, and his other sisters lived in this region. And we sit in the living room, sing Sadie and the Rubber Band Man.
His voice was phenomenal. Wow.
I saw this short black guy miss a man between his toes. They laughed so hard 'cause the man got down when the boy reached his low.
I know his voice has been an inspiration to many of the famous singers now and those who are coming up too.
I listened to him religiously. I listened to him when he was in the Spinners. I listened to him when he was in Parliament Funkadelic, singing Not Just Knee Deep.
Make no mistake, this funky music got all the things.
Well, Philippé was with Bootsy Collins early on in his career, so Bootsy knows him well.
He was so much fun. He was so funny, but yet he was so serious about his stage presence. You know, what he sung, we'd be jamming behind him. He would walk out, you know, in the audience. He'd pick out certain people to just go to the table and just start singing.
This is one of the most influential and most original singers I'd ever heard. There was a soul in that man that man just had spirit in him, man.
He would just say his heart in song. He would sing what he was thinking.
Everywhere we went, he would kill people. I mean, he had this gospel thing, you know.
That gospel and spiritual upbringing played a prominent role in his singing. You could just feel it. You could feel it. I mean, when I hear him sing, I just. I am so excited about him being inducted into the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. I am just ecstatic about that. That is so wonderful. They acknowledged it before the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It's a beautiful honor. I wish we were around to be here and be present with us to see it, because I would just love to shake this man's hand and look into his eyes and thank him for his gift.
I know the way he died on stage. He always wanted to do his best and give his best. That's why he did not stop. When they were asking him for more songs, we want to hear you, you know? He couldn't stop. In other words, he died doing what he loved to do. Being from Cincinnati, of course, and being honored in Cincinnati, in Hamilton County. This is where he grew up. This is where he played, grew up, went to school. And I'm sure that would have meant more to him than any other award that he could get, really.
Philippé Wynne was nominated online and got the most votes, so I wanted Lincoln Ware to be here with us, as well as it's sponsored by Kroger's. We're excited that our 2023 inductee is Mr. Philippé Wynne. And here to accept this award is Annie T. Walker, who is also an operatic dynamite singer, world renowned, who is also 2023 top black music influencers, Annie T. Walker.
So I'm going to start. And I'm up here because Philippé was my uncle. This is my aunt. And his family is here. If you can stand up. And I would be remiss because I'm not on the program, but I have an assignment from God. And my assignment is, as the first black African-American commissioner on this board since its inception 223 years ago, I am the first African-American commissioner. And in addition, I'm the first African-American female in the whole state of Ohio to be a commissioner. But the reason why I bring that up, and God wants me to expose it and reveal it, is the fact there are 3 commissioners. I am one of 3. And I oftentimes wonder, being the first African American, we now have 2 African Americans and 3 women. And I wonder, will we even see this day if we hadn't started what I started as a trailblazer? So God told me that my assignment is to shine the light on darkness. And that's why I started, and that's why I'm here, and that's why our other commissioner is not able to make it. But I just want to make it clear that nothing happens in the commission unless you have 2 votes. Unless you have 2 votes, this would not happen. The money would not be funded. And there were 3 votes. We unanimously supported this. So, as we're celebrating and being excited about the people that we're honoring, I know that heaven is celebrating it too. So thank you.
I'm just truly overwhelmed. And I'm so grateful for this tremendous honor to receive this on behalf of my beloved brother, who was a visionary, a philosopher, a nurturer, and a wonderful, fantastic singer. And I want to thank the commissioners and President Louise. Thank you so much. I thank everybody for this wonderful, wonderful moment. And I'm sorry, but I'm just an emotional person. And I just have one more thing to say about Sadie. And we have other sisters. We grew up, we were a 2-family home. Yes. Okay. We have all kinds of sisters, and Stephanie can mention them. But the song Sadie is actually about our family life growing up as children. And all those things he sang about, that's what happened in the house. And so I just thank God, and I thank everybody.
Come on, let's give it up for the Wynne family. And Commissioner Dumas, we thank you for your service. There's a saying that we're better together, so we're glad you were the first, but we're also glad that you partnered with Alicia Reese to make this wonderful thing happen. You said there were 3 votes. That was one for the Father, one for the Son, and I think that preach thing just fell on me again. But we're grateful. We're grateful. Belinda, come here for a second. Belinda, come here for a second. I feel like we need to have a moment where somebody at least hums a little bit of Sadie, right? Sadie, don't you know we love you, sweet. Come on, y'all, we dressed up like a choir, sing along. Place no one above, sweet Sadie, living in the past. You said they gotta pay for the rest of it. I got you. Thank you so much. I remember Mavis Staples told me that one time. I said, can you sing a little something for me? She said, baby, you got to pay this bird to chirp. That's what she said. All right, listen, our 3rd inductee, I had the personal privilege of touring his museum down in Augusta and eating at his daughter's restaurants, but what y'all don't know is he recorded so much of his music right here in Cincinnati. Give it up for the godfather of soul, James Brown. The audio's not playing.
Growing up, the most impactful and influential.
Delighted to present James Brown on our stage on this show. So let's have a fine welcome for our very fine talent.
Growing up, the most impactful and influential artist in the world was James Brown. James Brown is the reason I do music.
James Brown came to Cincinnati to King Records and at the time fired his whole band. This is a man! He was looking for a new sound, something different. And he came in to King Records and there's a Bootsy in there who's young and playing this new sound. And so there was a new funk sound for James Brown that came up right from Cincinnati, Ohio.
It was all about playing your note. And you could tell when we on stage playing, if somebody drop out that's supposed to be there, it's like, all eyes turn to that mug, you know. So it's like, you don't want to drop out, you know, you want to play your note. James Brown helped me, whether he wanted to or not.
His ability to, with song, impress upon people in certain ways, everything from happiness to a way to exhale. I think that's the part that I take most from what James Brown did.
It's one thing I always try to do is be unlike anybody else. It's the word can't make your soul sing. Can't. I think one thing that made a black man more heavier for soul coming from the States is because of the fact that he had extra hard knocks. And he lived with the word can't for so long.
James Brown used to come to the radio station. He'd pull up in the big limousine and he'd have his people there. You know, he'd always have whatever his next hit was, his next song would be, he'd have copies for all the DJs, and he'd make sure we got a copy of his next record, which always became a hit, of course, is James Brown. What else would you expect? Georgia. Thank you. He was always, you know, a fun guy to be around, and love to come on and interview with you, and he always would call me Soul Brother number 2. Lena, where are you, Soul Brother number 2? He was Soul Brother number 1, of course.
You've seen him on the Disney Channel and Flippin' Rolling Rink. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome national roller skater and choreographer, Mr. Dylan Morton.
All the way forward.
Check this out.
You ready to get into it? Yeah. I'm gonna count off, Jab. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get up. Get on up. Get up. Get on up. Get up. Get on up. Stay on the scene. Get on up. Like a sex machine. Get on up. Get up. Get on up. Get up. Get on up. Stay on the scene. Get on up. Like a sex machine. Get on up. Get on up.
Double G, Double G. What up? This Snoop Deele Double G. Oh, wait.
Make it fun. Make it fun. Make it fun. I got to make it fun. Make it fun. Make it fun. Tell me, make it fun. No, it is.
Check this out.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Can I really get into it? Yeah. Look at him. We're gonna have a funky good time. 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 Take 'em up, Fred. We gotta take you high. Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 inductee, the godfather of soul, Mr. James Brown! Here to accept his award, his daughter, who was with him all over the world, Dr. Deanna Brown! I feel good. I knew that I would not. So good, so good. I got you. Wow, I feel nothing. A sugar is fine. I feel to God be the glory. President Reese, thank you for your determination, for your commitment, for your vision, and for your obedience to our mighty Lord and Savior. You know, my father comes from picking cotton, working on the railroad. He had to stop going to school in the 7th grade. because of insufficient clothing. My grandparents couldn't afford clothes in the segregated South. So holes in his shoes and holes in his clothes, they sent him home. But I wonder sometimes what was on the mind of my grandparents who had to live in those conditions. How could they have known that they were going to have the greatest artist in the world as their son? I stand here on the shoulders of strength, power, resilience, and I'm gonna get it done whether you like it or not kind of attitude. Today, President Reese, is Manifestation Day. We manifest what God placed in your heart. And we are thankful. He wrote songs like, "Don't Be a Dropout." I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Open up the door. I'll get it myself. It's a man's world. But y'all know it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or girl, because there ain't no other way for you to get here on this planet but to come by way of a woman. Thank you to the city of Cincinnati and to all the people here. We go back to King Records. And when I get to this part, I gotta call my brother Bootsy Collins up with me to stand by me. Cause God left angels to watch over me. So Bootsy and Sister Patty, y'all come stand next to me right now. He touched people all over the world, but he started right here in Cincinnati. He gave careers, lifelong careers to people. Now, he didn't own King Records financially, but he owned King Records. And kicked off the careers of so many artists who gave us so much great music over the years, including my brother right here, Bootsy Collins, who continues to stay on the one. On the one. Is there another way to do it? So again, I thank you. Before I leave this stage, I want y'all to come at me when I tell you what I need to say. Because see, one thing about it, when I say what I say, you already know what to do. And I want you to say it so loud that them folks down in Florida who think slavery benefited us can hear you. Say it loud. Say it loud. One more time, say it loud. I love you, Cincinnati, and God bless you.
Come on, one more time for Dr. Deanna Brown and the legacy of her father, the late, great James Brown, the godfather of soul. Yeah, this is a photo we need to capture right here. And I'm gonna step into this one too, because I need this one myself. If I can take my personal moment of privilege. You might need to airbrush that shine off my forehead though. Okay, we good? All right. Now, y'all know after every presentation, I like to do a little something, but I can't do what Dr. Dylan Morgan did, because if I get out here roller skating and dropping and doing a split like James Brown, the only thing that's going to split on me is these pants. Yeah, I might got young man swagger, but once you turn 40, certain things you just don't try. So all the OGs out there, don't you get excited when you leave your talk about, listen, Gary, I saw that young boy, you was looking at him, I'm gonna try that, but you won't even make it to the concert tonight. There's not enough Ben Gay in Cincinnati to help you with that, all right? So let's just kids, don't try this at home, all right? All right, listen, our next inductee, I feel like it was an organic moment because last year, one of the members came to celebrate Midnight Star, and Alicia Reese, being Alicia Reese, was like, well, I'm gonna put you in next year. Well, here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, our fourth inductee, the Deele.
This journey starts at Hughes High School in Cincinnati. We had a beloved teacher, music teacher, Mr. Terry Brown, and myself, K.O., Deele, and Carlos, we were all in Mr. Brown's music class. We basically formed our relationship with each other in music there. K.O. and I became absolute best friends. We had a band called Pure Essence, and we made a couple records. One of them was called Third Rock. K.O. is probably in the top 5 greatest bass players ever. And that's a big statement because, Bootsy Collins is from Cincinnati. And I remember having a conversation with K.O. and I said, you know what we need? We need a lead singer who is a star, who has charisma of Mick Jagger. We need somebody like that. And K.O. says, what about Darnell Bristol?
I looked at them like they had made it because they were so professional. They played like black rock. I mean, I was just blown away. So I joined Essence.
We were making good music, but we sort of hit a wall with Pure Essence. We were on the wrong track.
I knew there was something more. So one day I just told the guys, I said, hey man, I quit. They called me a week later. They said, we quit too. Let's start our own thing.
We started playing in a club in Indianapolis, Indiana called the Zodiac Lounge. There was a version of the Ohio Players that played in the club, and in that band was a young guitar player named Stanley Burke, and we were blown away by him. He could play, he had presence, he had style, he was in the moment, he was just in the pocket of where music was heading. And while in Indianapolis, we met another insanely talented young man named Kenny Edmonds. One day, we were in the studio with Bootsy Collins, and I remember when Babyface walked in, he walked in the room as Kenny Edmonds, and Bootsy looked up at him and said, Babyface. And just like that, the name Babyface took hold, and a star was born. And Kenny ended up joining the band as a guitar player, keyboard player, writer, producer extraordinaire, and just overall resident genius.
I said, excuse me.
Carlos was like a brother to me. I had known him since 3rd grade, and he had just gotten out of the service. And when I would come out, he's like, man, what you doing? What's going on? I said, man, we got a group, man, the Deele. And Carlos was like, oh man, get me in there. Get me in the group. So Carlos became the second lead singer.
And that rounded out the band, and that was the Deele.
When we came back to Cincinnati, we met Midnight Star.
Their keyboard player, Bo Watson, they hired him to come cut the demo that we were working on.
But our demo was so good, Dick Griffey told us. He loved the music so much, he signed the deal without even
sight unseen.
Hearing our song come on the radio for the first time ever, right? That was mind-blowing. But man, when we heard Body Talk come on the radio, that was life-changing.
When you hear music from the 80s into the 90s, you can almost bet that the Deele had a hand in.
Darnell is largely responsible for the success that we've had in music, simply because he understood what works in music and what doesn't work in music. He always had this knack for it. He just understood it. And he had the charisma, and he had the voice, the writing skills, the vocal ability, the presence. Dee was the catalyst that really got us on track and sort of wrote the blueprint that became the success of the Deele.
It is an honor to receive the Walk of Fame star because it lets you know that all the work we did, just living and breathing music, that it paid off, and that Cincinnati, Ohio appreciates what I did, what the Deele did. This is the best.
I only think of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome national recording artist and current member of the Deele, Louise.
Cincinnati! 'Cause every time I close my eyes, I think of you. It don't matter what the season is, I still love you. With all my heart, I wanna be with you ever, wherever you it just intensifies my wants to have a love that endures. 'Cause every time I close my eyes, I think of sing. No matter what the season is, I still love you. With all my heart, I wanna be with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, our 2023 inductees, the Deele!
What up, Natty? I said, what up, Natty? Hey, guess what? I love y'all. Hey, first of all, I'd like to give an honor to the man above for being the head of my life. Secondly, to my family, I love you. I have so many here tonight, this evening. I got my beautiful grandson who happens to be Alicia Reese's chief of staff. Where you at, dude? Veda Stevenson Jr. I'm so proud of him. I got my daughter Nikki here. I got my son Kevin here. Julian, Jade, and my little son, who I lost, a couple of years ago, but I know he's looking down. Diane, Donna, Jennifer, Annette, Stephanie, and my little brother, who's my rock. I couldn't have did this without him. He took this journey with me on the second half. Jeff, where are you, man? I love you. Come here. And I would just like to say, from a kid from Mount Auburn, myself and Carlos, I was a skinny little dude in the 3rd grade, met Carlos, he was in the 5th grade, and we've been together ever since, me and Carlos, making cardboard guitars in my mother's living room doing the splits. I'm talking about synchronized, going to parties, turning it out. And to all the Deele members, LA, KO, Face, Stick, oh my God, and the newest member, who's been with us for 20 years, that young man that just got finished singing, he's the truth. I just want to thank you all, and my mother, I love you, Mama, and my father, my late father, and my honey, she's in here somewhere too. I got to get that in. Where you at, baby? I love you. Yeah. Hey, you know, I'm talking a lot, but I'm just humbled, and I am so freaking proud. Alicia. Oh my God. What a trooper. Tara, Dr. Tara. And I might be saying her name wrong. Dr. Tara, another trooper. And Kathleen, or Kathleen, yeah. Hey, y'all are the best. This would not be possible. And last but not least, if I have forgotten anybody, it's because there's so much love in here that is too many people to mention, so you know who you are. Even the people, my new employment, love them. Lynn Myers in the game. I see you, Jeremy. And last but not least, and this is so real, I will repeat, this is a love fest from me and the fans of Cincinnati and all over the world. On behalf of the Deele and the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm really not a public speaker, but I'm gonna try to make this fast. I think my Jesus. Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. I'd like to thank my family, everyone who was blood related to me. I got the babies in the house tonight. My daughter Candace and Chelsea are here, my grandkids. Kelsey's here. Thank you to these guys behind me who took me on this fantastic journey. And which ended up my life. I love all you guys. I remember getting that call telling me I was in the group. I was like, oh, I'm in the group? And then I found out like a couple years ago that not everybody at first wanted me in the group. Yeah, LA, I read your book. But we have grown to be one big family, and I'm so honored to be here. Thank you, Cincinnati. Thank you, Louise Shropshire. Thank you, Academy. Thank all of you for supporting me, and may God be with you.
This is a proud moment. I thank everybody that's here. I got family in there. It's where y'all at? I've been looking for y'all all night. Where my kids at? They over there? Thank y'all. I love y'all. Thank you for being patient with your dad. I'm about to cry. Thank you. Thank you. Cincinnati! Woo! There's so many people in here that are responsible for this journey that we have to acknowledge. First of all, just like my brothers. First, acknowledge my brothers, right? And like my brothers, I have to acknowledge our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And my dear family, wherever you guys are. Erica, where are you? Ariana, Addison, Aaron, and Antonio. Where are you? I can't see you guys. Make some noise over there. That's the Reed clan, y'all. I love y'all. When we formed our band back in the early 80s, it was the generosity and the vision of Midnight Star that really opened the doors for us. So I really want to thank Midnight Star, A, for your generosity, for your guidance. They literally took us into their home and taught us how the art of songwriting, produced our first album, guided us, nurtured us, and really gave us the confidence to do what we went out to do. So all of you guys, Reggie, Bill, Belinda, Bo, Melvin, MacArthur, Bobby, Jeff, Vincent, and my man Kenneth Gant, man, I love y'all, man. It was y'all. It was you guys. And our great inspiration came from the godfather of the Cincinnati music scene and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, Funketeer. We were inspired, deeply inspired by the Honorable Bootsy Collins. It was you, bro. Yeah. And Alicia Reese. I don't know how many times you've heard your name today, but it wasn't nearly enough. Like, we're gonna say it again. Alicia Reese. Alicia Reese. Thank you guys for this really beautiful honor. I'm gonna cut this out, but in the words of my brother Darnell Bristol, we only think of you, Cincinnati, on 2 occasions. That's day. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Deele. Now, LA, hold on, DJ. Hold on a second, DJ. LA, now, you know, we loved on you real good today. And, you know, I got to take a personal moment of privilege. You know, I happen to know you're working with Usher, and the Vegas tickets are hard to get. Now, I done a good job hosting tonight. Can you hook a brother up?
Sold out.
Sold out? He got some tickets in his wallet somewhere, right? All right, y'all, one more time for the Deele. Okay, listen, before the DJ plays, how many of y'all were here last year? And how many of y'all didn't follow the rules last year and went outside and couldn't hear nothing and was mad? Yeah, don't do that this year. So let me explain what's gonna happen here. Isn't this beautiful in here? Don't y'all love this wonderful edifice? And haven't the video packages and things been really nice tonight? Haven't you loved watching those Can we give a round of applause to the people who've edited and put together those packages? It's like little mini unsungs, you know? Well, here's the thing. Our inductees are now going to go outside so they can actually be photographed and presented their stars in the space where they're going to go. But here's the thing. If you break the rules and follow them outside, you're not going to know what's going on because there's no mics and no speakers out there because it's being produced out there so you can enjoy it in here. Turn to somebody and say, enjoy it in here. And here's another thing. They don't got air conditioning out there, huh? So do you want to sweat through your whites? Say no. So if you stay here, you'll get to see the inductees, get to see their stars for the first time, and it's all going to be produced for us inside. Say inside. Inside. You go out there and get mad if you want to, but they're not letting you back in, all right? Cool. So our inductees are going to head out, and they've asked me to ad-lib for a whole long time, and so that's what I'm going to do. Listen, I want to thank you all. Some of you guys have been watching the Sherry Show, which I executive produce and I'm a fixture on. We really appreciate it. Thank you to all the people who watch on YouTube. I know the Drive Up folks in Chicago and Detroit and St. Louis and all of y'all. Y'all get to see us on a good time. We had a very interesting time here in Cincinnati. But on September the 18th, somebody yell back, September 18th. We are moving to WLWT Channel 5 at 2 p.m. So you'll get to see the joy that is on the Sherry Show. I don't know if you heard, but we won an NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Talk Show. We're nominated for 4 Emmys, and I'm one of the only black men executive producing in daytime talk. It's rarefied air that I'm in, and I'm very proud of that. So thank you to all of you who've been supporting our show. All right, as the inductees go outside, I want to continue sharing with you what we're about to see in the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame. Every night there's going to be a dance takeover, and we want all of you all to experience it firsthand. Hey, so listen, I know the formalities may have eased up a little bit, but I need y'all to stop talking to each other because we still got a little more program. Turn to somebody and say, shh. I'm sorry, we got to treat you like you're in the 6th grade, but y'all mighty loud. And there's a feed of folks who are watching on YouTube and Facebook, so we still want to give them our best presentation. Is that all right? You guys have been a dynamic audience. Sometimes you host events and people are tight and they stuffy, but y'all came to have a good time, and I appreciate that. Give yourselves a round of applause for being such a good crowd. So listen, every night there will be a dance takeover, and we want you all to experience it firsthand. This nightly dance experience features the Q Kids who are here with us today. The Q Kids, make some noise. It also features roller skaters who are here with us today. Are the roller skaters in the house? All right. And we have our takeover DJs, Lincoln Ware, who you guys got to see earlier on the show. Don Juan, who is a volunteer committee member and who's been the voice of God throughout the show. And so DJ Reek, let's start our Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame Jam Cam. Everybody get up on your feet. Ladies, if you got on heels, just kick them off. Can't nobody see, it's kind of dark out there. But come on, they want you to get up on your feet because they about to put this jam. You know how when you watch the NBA games and the men uncomfortably have to kiss their wives on camera? Well, we got a jam cam and they want to get you on the jam cam in order to jam. Unless you're giving me a shoulder shimmy, they need you to stand up on your feet. And a lot of y'all are still sitting there looking at me like your feet and your knees don't work. And I know you might not have Meg Thee Stallion knees, but if your knees and your feet work, come on, get up on your feet and get ready for the jam cam. All right, DJ Reek, let's get this jam cam going because they're getting ornery. In the cam, there we go. Y'all looking good? That brother and his wife, they like, we still not standing. Don't wave, you not standing. Sit down, don't wave while you're here. All right, the balcony. Y'all partying up in the balcony? All right, don't tip forward though, because that railing don't look too strong. All right, listen, we got a girl. That's like girls trip over there. They've been zip lining downtown, getting in trouble. I see y'all. Who else we got here? Look at y'all. I see y'all. Where y'all going? You dancing and walking. Shit, wait, I'm on camera. Look at me. Mama, I made it. Who else we you got DJ Regan. All right, I see you with your shoulder shimmy. All right. We likes the shoulder shimmy. Hey, listen, I see you. Shout out to our blue-eyed soul dancer. I see you. Hey, I'm letting you come to the cookout. You can't bring the potato salad, but you can bring your dance move. Yeah. Is that a hat? Wait a minute. This is the Black Music Walk of Fame. This ain't the Kentucky Derby. What's going on? You said it's gonna be hot out there. I'm gonna bring a hat and a tent at the same time. Hey, I see, that's the intern. Whatever Alicia Reese's intern. When he take photos, he only like to take one photo, so when you get a bad one, you don't have to have two options. What up, balcony? Y'all should at least be electric sliding or something up there in the balcony. Oh, look at you dancing by yourself. I love it. Is that your husband with his arms folded next to you? Yeah, he said, yeah, I got to save my energy for tonight. Hey, I see you, auntie. Oh, you got that little two-step going. Oh, and you dancing faster than the beat, brother. You had some happy juice. I'll take two of whatever he had today. Yeah. Hey, what's happening over there? Oh, as soon as you saw the camera, you started twerking. I see you. I see you. Uh-huh. Hey, y'all. Y'all got that church clap going. Amen. Amen. The presence of the Lord is here. Hey, balcony. All right. Y'all good up there? You got a little swing going. I see you. You do liturgical dance at your church. Uh-huh. You wave your fans. Uh-huh. Hey, up there in the corner, I see y'all. Y'all be remixing y'all dance as soon as the camera hits you. I see you. You having a good time? Hey. I appreciate y'all. The people near you running to get in the camera. Hey, uh-oh. Y'all three look like trouble. Y'all look like y'all take one of them cat daddies and tear him apart. Y'all better watch yourself. I see y'all. Oh yeah, I see the sway in your hip. You trouble. What's up, brother? Hey. Throw your hands in the air like you just don't care. I see you, man. Hey. Can you clap on the 1 and 2? All right. Oh, here we go. On May 31st of this year, the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame hosted an event at the Hard Rock Casino that gave special recognition to the top music influencers. There are over 60 music influencers that are featured in a special section inside the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame, many of whom are with us today. We'd like to recognize them. If you're one of the music influencers, jump up on your feet and scream so people can look at you. All right. We thank you for being here.
Shirley Murdoch. Kathy Wayne. 24 Karat Black. Barbara Howard Reese. Pianne Everson Price. John Legend. Kathleen Battle. Terry Brown.
Oh, he's
Big
still...
Joe Duskin.
You forgot some of the influences.
Philip Paul Jr.
Oh.
Dr. Bobby Cartwright Jr. Gerald P. Brown. Frank Payne. Dr. Tyra Lindsay Warren. Albert Washington. The Ditalians. Eddie Lee Love. Heatwave. Lincoln Ware. Eugene Goss III. Ardell Nelson, Roman Johnson, Darwin Hobbs, Lakeside, Mamie Smith, Mel Carter, Ohio Players, Philip Catfish Collins, Zach and Roger, Randy Crawford, H. Bomb Ferguson, Antonio L.A. Reid, Loretta Sesser, Megan, Gene Rigg Sr., Annie T. Walker, C.C. Peniston.
That's my friend.
The Callaways, Billy Ward, Charles Brown, Christopher Jasper, Donald Lawrence, Dottie Peoples, Flip Floor Recording Studio. Hank Ballard, Ed Collins, Gloria Jones, Jonathan Quinn.
All right, you ready, Alicia Reese?
Let's go back.
Go ahead, it's all yours.
All right, y'all, we're here. We're getting ready to cut the ribbon. 1, 2. We're not gonna cut on this one. Pictures.
Thank y'all for being so kind to me. If the check clears, I might be back next year. I'm John Murray. Follow me online at JAWNMURRAY. Watch the Sherry Show here in your local markets. I love y'all. Thank you. God bless you.